Good morning, travelers. Tara here. Today is November 19th, whatever. I don't even know what day it is. I never do. That's one of my idiosyncrasies, so please bear with me with that, people. Neptune has stationed retrograde today. Now, Neptune is one of the big outer planets, so it takes quite a while for it to resume direct motion and also for it to get back on course. Like Mercury, it's one of those fast inner moving planets, so that takes 2 weeks roughly for it to get back up to speed. So I'm not an astrologer, although I'd like to be one. I would assume that it may take almost up to a month for perhaps Neptune to get up to full direct speed. Okay. Nevertheless, here we are. This has been a strange and wacky time frame. I forget when it went retrograde, but it's been a strange, wacky time frame. So I'm going to be coming to you today with the general reading for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of December 2016. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading and the messages will not resonate with everyone, so please check back to your moon and rising signs if I have not already posted those. And I really want to extend my sincerest thanks for everybody's patience. I can't speak for anybody else who does this kind of work. I have my own little idiosyncrasies, and I have to do a lot to try to keep my own energy field clear. So sometimes I may sound gruff or rude to people. I don't mean it that way, but sometimes I'm just drained of energy. I'm just drained, and it's difficult to keep up an energy field when you have to extend it in such a way whereas you can hopefully bring, particularly with general readings, that you can bring the energies in for hopefully a large number of people. I've had to alter the color of my light shield because I had it at such a state where it was blocking the flow of stuff coming in. So I figured out, a way to alter that structure a little bit. It seems to be working well thus far. That's the kind of stuff I do. Geeky, I know. But I think my website is up and running. It should be. I haven't checked this morning. I was finally able to get some good sleep that week of the leading up to the full moon and 3 to 4 days after. It's just bad for me. Not, and I don't mean that in a negative way, like bad, but that way. I'm very, very sensitive to energies. So, okay, let's get started. Please take what you can, disregard what you cannot. And we're going to get the cards laid out here. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Now, I do readings 6 days a week. And in order for you to gain more clarity for your specific situation does require a personal reading. You can always go over click the little eye symbol or whatever in the top right hand corner of the video. And that will take you directly over to the website. I do ask, if you're going to book a reading with me, that you please read important information on booking, because that will explain so much to you, and it will make the process, even though it's a 2-step process, I'm sorry about that, but if you just follow the instructions and do the 2 steps, it'll make it so much easier for both of us. I get so many emails a day. It's impossible for me to, if you're sending me 10, 15, 20 emails, it gets lost in the shuffle. So, and that may delay the time on your reading. So please read that. I've changed the whole theme of the website. Y'all kind of bear with me. I'm going through some changes right now. I'm trying out some different things. So that's that. I do have the Sibyllus here with me, the Neapolitans, and the Angel Answer cards. And hopefully The cards will speak clear and true for some of you. Okay. Here we go. 9 cards down. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. December 2016. Justice. Ooh, the Devil. And the Ace of Wands. Whoa. That's an interesting trio of cards. It's telling me 3 things. Let me get the rest of the cards down. 4 of Cups. 5 of Swords. Knight of Wands. Well, it's all fire so far over here on the end. 8 of Cups. The Fool. And the Queen of Pentacles. Well, with the 4 of Wands. Let me take a look at this. This is... I'm kind of tickled. Now, I'm going to try to bring you these interpretations for both heterosexual and same-sexual couples. So whomever is going to take the role of the male and of the female in this. It's interesting. In the center, I have the 5 of Swords. And the number 5 itself in the numerology simply speaks to a group dynamic. 3 people or more concerned in a situation. But because it's a Swords card, it is about thoughts, ideas, perceptions, words, beliefs. And so sometimes when I see this card, it indicates some type of argument and a breakup of the group, so to speak, a separation. And the imagery is one person standing with they've defeated those 2 people in the background. They have taken from these people thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas. Maybe it's words. Maybe their words, your words were stronger. This person's words were strong enough to cause these people to walk away. And now, in a sense, this sword being pointed down at the ground, saying that, okay, now the fight is over. Okay. I have 2 cups here. I have 2 wands, 1 swords, 1 pentacle, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana cards. So for those of you who are new to the channel, and I would like to welcome you, thank you for joining me. The major arcana are spiritual lessons or the arc of spiritual development, and they can represent different things that you go through at different times, okay? And therefore, they kind of hold more sway and more weight over the entire reading than the pip cards. And the pip cards are going to be your court cards and your numbered cards, the 5, the 4, the 8. Now, past, present, future, past, present, future. And this is the overall energy here, okay, of the spread. I don't have, within this spread itself, I do not have any repeater numbers at all. No. And the top, I got tickled when I saw the top row, because the top row of Justice, the Devil, and the Ace of Wands. And I said, well, that's giving me 2 messages. So either there's 2 situations going on here. This is either finally you met somebody really who lights your fire, okay? Because the Devil with the Ace of Wands speaks to me of pure sexual energy, all right? The kind where maybe you don't mind a little whips and chains. So I ain't mad at you. But it also speaks to me in another sense that perhaps there's some kind of legal situation that's going on, and it's been a little vexing, okay? And perhaps you've been feeling stuck and not knowing exactly, and it's been like bothering you. It's the windmills of your mind, spinning it over and over and being worried about it. Well, I would tend to, what I'm picking up is that whatever news that you've been waiting on, or if you've been waiting on some type of settlement or a closure to a legal issue, it is coming. Okay. I think what I'm looking at is a separation and or a divorce, and more than likely it is over property here. Okay, there's a property issue that's going on within. I think that's the crux of the problem, or the challenge. Let's put it that way. And here I see that with the Four of Cups that there has been an offer presented, but apparently that offer wasn't good enough. Okay. And there ensued a battle of words. Now, this could have been, your lawyer, firing off some documents, the other party's lawyer firing off some documents. And this could even be in a business sense as well. Capricorn, the devil rules Capricorn. And Capricorn, in terms of business, is all about business, determined, focused, and will not allow anything to come in, even if they get knocked down. They're not down for long. And I see this as well here with the road down the center, the devil, the Five of Swords, and then the Fool card. It's like once this energy of being stuck and limited and restricted, we get it all out in the open, okay? And then we come to some new energy, the Fool card. But the thing about the Five of Swords is that if you're still hanging on to something from the past, if there's some argument, if you're still, this is pick your battles. Because sometimes this energy it's really not worth the fight. It really isn't. And so sometimes you have to assume your losses and keep it moving. Because as I can see, this is coming around again. Here is the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands usually speaks to a situation. I always look at the Knights as events coming in. I'm going to turn my stereo down. As events, something, a situation. But as I can see, there's something returning. It's like somebody's coming back for some more fighting. Okay. And but then somebody's just like, this ain't, and in a sense, I would say that if you're walking away from this because you have realized that there's really no value in it for you, I would say in one respect that would be the correct thing to do. I don't normally like to tell people, yeah, do that, okay? Because ultimately it's your own choice of what it is you decide to do. You have to do what is best for you, but you also have to be willing to accept whatever consequences comes from that decision or that choice. And so this card can kind of be like a warning. It's like you have an opportunity to reset things. It's the zero, and zero is everything and nothing. And this sometimes can be about taking a chance. You see, he's about to step off that cliff. Well, we don't know if he's going to step off and float or if he's going to fall into the bottom of the abyss. So it can also speak to, perhaps being foolish and reckless in your decision-making process. This energy of the Knight being very quick to react. And in one sense, the Justice to the Knight of Wands to the Eight of Cups indeed could be a warning saying, slow your roll and really, really, really consider your options here. I can see for some of you that in a way, if this is a property issue, because we have this Queen of Pentacles sitting here, and even though this is an Aries reading, we can all take the energies of the different suits. It depends on where we are in our life, what we're dealing with, and how we're reacting to it. And she's usually very focused and very grounded. And in a way, it tells me in one respect that if you can work through the energy of this, that you will come out ahead in a stable position. That's what that's saying to me. Now, if this is about somebody that you done met that's floating your boat, I I see that some of you are perhaps excited by it. That's what the fire with the devil tells me. You're really, they really light your fire, but you're not sure if you should take it to the next level. And perhaps for some of you, this has created some arguments here. And either you walked away or the other person walked away. But one of you, I'm not going to say wants to return, well, will return. In some cases, that may be true. Someone may be coming back to you. This is not someone from the past. I feel that this is someone brand new. And the reason why I say that is because he sits over here in the future vertical column. And so someone or either you will be going back to either revisit that in some way, shape, or form, or actually you're going to come back together quite quickly. But then I have this Eight of Cups. So this tells me that somebody perhaps will not be feeling as though it is really what they are looking for. Okay. And hey, you have to, again, do what you feel is best for you, and you should not allow external events, Five of Swords, or fears. This is even can be addiction sometimes. Come in and allow you to, you see, look, the person in the Eight of Cups is walking into the Fool card. Okay. And what always stands out the most to me, and I say this almost every time this card comes up, when this Eight of Cups shows up, this is somebody who's literally walking away in the middle of the night. Okay, they're not even taking anything with them. They're walking away and they're saying that all of these cups that they're leaving behind, there's got to be something better. There's got to be something different for me. And I have to go out and I have to find that. And here the Fool, the energy of the Fool comes in to greet you. But now this is Uranus energy. And I feel that for some of you, this is, if it has not occurred, it will be occurring. You're just going to suddenly just get up and walk away. And this is borne out. There's just been too many fights. This has occurred too many times. And this is these are two big karma cards here. Okay, so this could literally be a karmic situation where you've been going back and forth. It's been the same thing over and over and over again. And perhaps your patience has just finally run out. You can't do it anymore. So even if this is not a legal issue involving property, what I am picking up, and I'm going to pull cards on this because, it's not a weird reading in per se that I don't understand what I'm looking at. There's another underlying story going on and I'm not able to quite pick it up. But I do feel it's either or. This is either going to be a legal issue, there's a separation or divorce where there's property involved. And the overall energy is this card. Now, this is known as the marriage card in the tarot. But if you're separating, then we ain't talking about marriage. But what we're talking about is the stable foundations in the home life. What do you need to feel grounded, safe, and secure? Okay. And so this Fool energy combined with the devil can be simply someone having a bit of fear and kind of being stuck in a situation. This is brought about, people, by the Jupiter in Libra. And I've been saying for quite some time that this cycle is going to reset relationships and partnerships. That's what Libra's about. Partnerships of all sorts. Business, personal, familial, romantic. Your partnership with yourself. And I can see perhaps that some of you have been perhaps fighting with yourself. And if you haven't been fighting with yourself, you've been fighting with an earth sign individual. Okay? I'm going to pull cards on this Four of Cups here, because it's reading three ways. Somebody new coming in and you're not sure whether or not you want to get involved with that person. Even though the sex may be great. Okay. But there's not enough of something else there that's going to make you actually jump into it. There's been fights about that. So we're going to be revisiting that. And I can see that someone here with this Eight of Cups is just going to be like, okay, you know, that was great. It was fun. But now it's time for me to move on. That's that fire energy. But at the same time, it also speaks to someone walking away from a situation already in the past and trying to move forward. And that legal issue. And it could be all three things at once. It could be that while you're going through this divorce or this separation, you meet somebody, you know, and if you're just coming out of whatever this is, you know, because sometimes the devil can show up as, you know, sometimes maybe what we need to do is just go have sex anyway, you know, and then worry about the consequences of it tomorrow. But there's some issue here with balance. And this could be a power dynamic. And this very well could have been that in one regard, there's a divorce or a separation because three people were in the situation. It also speaks to you still being in a relationship and a third person coming in. It could also be you have already walked away from one situation. You've met somebody else, but you're still dealing with that past partner. Three people in a situation, and so there's an imbalance here. But what's funny is this line of Justice, the Five of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. Those two swords being held up. This is not someone who really is unsure about what they think. It's not the Two of Swords, but it harkens back to the Two of Swords. You see, two swords are on the ground, two swords are right up and upright. So in other words, somebody else is just like, okay, to hell with that. Okay. And then somebody else is like, okay, that's the way it is. One side is given up, so to speak. But it is through that argument or those opposing beliefs that someone walks away. So let's take a look at this Four of Cups here. We're going to be using the Sibilas. Because on the surface, this doesn't look like a bad reading. It's just, you know, it's a phase. So if you recognize this and you're going through it, depending on what side, like say if somebody walked away from you as an Aries fire sign, moon and rising, know that this is part of life, not all of life. And it's been interesting because I've had a lot of Aries people contacting me and they're like, I don't understand. That's normally not the way I behave. Well, first time for everything. And if you're going through this, and it's the first time you've been going through this, where somebody's like, you know, whatever, you fire sign, I ain't even trying to deal with you like that. And somebody's walking away from you, whereas before it would have been you, you know, doing your hair toss and walking away first. It is indeed a karmic cycle. There are lessons to be learned from this, but nevertheless, it does not mean. It just means your mojo is on low right now. That's all. It's a cycle. This too shall pass. Indeed. Now, I can read this in two ways. The giovane fanciulla, the attraction to the young girl. Remember, I'm talking about three people in a situation. This has caused some depression or illness or sadness with the gran signore. Now, this could be either whomever's going to take the role of the male in this situation, perhaps has put a proposal to someone, whomever's going to take the role of the female, and that person has not accepted or did not accept, okay? But this could also be, if this is heterosexual, that there was somebody new who came in. Remember, I'm talking about the 3 people in the situation, and this has caused some upset with this Gran Signore person here. Arguments and fights. But we see that there's someone coming back. Now, I don't know if it's someone who's coming back. Is this Gran Signore? I don't know. Only time will tell if that I'm going to take a look at this 8 of Cups. Then I want to look at the Fool card, because I'm getting a few messages off of that. Please keep in mind that no matter what I'm telling you I see here in the cards, this is not set in stone, because everybody has free will. Everybody can make a choice, okay? And depending on the choices you make or the choice that the other person makes, that's going to affect the outcome, okay? The cards don't deal in free will, okay? They can only give you a bit of information, and then they give it to you in the hopes that whatever comes out, you'll be able to make the best decision for yourself going forward. Yep, there it is. The La Nemica, the Disgrazia, the Tower, the House on Fire, and the Costanza. Now, this is speaking to me and it's interesting that this Giovane Fanciulla and this La Nemica all fall in the past vertical column. However, this Giovane Fanciulla comes across the present row. This is the future row, okay? And this is telling me 2 things, that indeed, perhaps it went from just somebody new into the picture to somebody who really became an important factor in the relationship, okay? And really, we go from the Ammalato to the Disgrazia, the house on fire. This is a very extremely misfortunate event. And it looks as though it's something that has not been able to be rectified. This is why someone is walking away, all right? However, in looking at this 5 of Swords in the center, this could really be about perhaps you being your own worst enemy, okay? What is it really that you're fighting for? What is the real reason why you're fighting? You see, you may be arguing and fighting, but you haven't gotten down to what the real issue is. This card speaks to restrictions, limitations, self-defeat, repeated patterns of negative behavior, thoughts, speech. That's what the devil is all about. It's not sometimes you may think somebody's been holding you back or doing you dirty when really it's been yourself, okay? So this is not only can speak to 3 people in the situation, but this can speak to having an imbalance between your feminine and your masculine, okay? Maybe you've been too feminine and allowing people to walk over you. Maybe you've been too masculine and you've been wanting to, knock a few heads. But you have to get to the bottom, really, of what the issue is. Because 9 times out of 10, it is not the other person or that third person that comes in that really creates the problem. That is the situational condition in which you are being asked to face whatever your devils are. They're pushing your buttons, but you got to figure out why your buttons are being pushed. Why does that upset me so much? And granted, if somebody's cheated on you, they've undermined you, they've lied to you, they've been acting shady, yeah, that hurts. Okay, so I'm not saying to dismiss, really, because you see the cups here. Okay, but what I'm saying is get to the bottom of the source of that pain. And if you can do that, then you'll understand whether you should really be fighting or not for whatever it is you think you're fighting for. Remember, these are ideas, beliefs, perceptions, thoughts. let's take a look at this Fool card. This could really be about you being your own worst enemy. Remember I was saying some of you have been contacting me, you Aries people have been contacting me. That ain't never happened to me before. I'm usually always the one to walk away. Well, you could be your own worst enemy. One of the spiritual laws, find the golden rule. You know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So it could be that that's something, a pattern that you've been repeating. You always walking away. You're right and nobody else is right, and you fire. So I'm just going to burn it to the ground and keep it moving. Well, now perhaps you're faced with the situation in which someone has just done that to you and you are stumped. You don't know what to do about it. That's karma. And it's not about, you know, it's what comes around goes around. But, and I don't mean that in a negative connotation. Please don't think I'm saying, well, yeah, well, I'm glad that happened to you. I'm never glad to see anybody that's going through emotional pain and suffering. Never. But at the same time, you have to stop and think, well, why did this happen to me? And then think back to all the times perhaps maybe you did that to someone else. So sometimes that's the way karma works. It comes back to, you know, bitch slap you back a little bit so you can figure out really what you need to do going forward. I don't want to repeat this pattern again. And how do you do that? You make different choices. The Fool card. Indeed. It was something very, very positive. And this card means a gift, not unselfish. That's really what it means. Coming from a lover, male, l'amante, whether same-sex or heterosexual, okay? And this is someone I feel that in one respect, it was an opportunity for a different kind of relationship on a higher level. Maybe not seeing that. You see, the Fool has his eyes closed and he's already moving it along. He's keeping it moving. And so now someone has decided that has to come to an end quite suddenly. Okay, but it could also be someone looking back over a situation in which there came a sudden ending to it. Remember I was telling you about that Knight of Wands here. Let me take a look at that. And then I'm going to pull you one angel answer card. You know, if this is Knight of Wands, it's not you, it's not another person, it's not a third person. It could just simply be an event, something coming back around again. The two karma cards. And no matter how this plays out, there is a gift in that. But you're going to have to be able to see it. And Neptune going direct, I think, may help to clarify that. Neptune can make stuff seem like, you know, every time you turn around, somebody's pulling a rug out from under you. It's like standing on shifting sand sometimes. And that could be why a lot of fire sign people are like, man, that ain't never happened to me before. I can't believe that. And I don't know. I can't even stop thinking about that person. That ain't never happened. Neptune. It's Neptune. La Vecchia Signora, the conversation, and then the militare on this Knight of Wands. This could literally have been you going to your friends or talking to somebody that you trust and this person giving you some advice. But the advice that they've been giving you speaks to a change. There's something that has to change. Or this situation was bound to change anyway because that's just the way it is. Baby girl, this is how, you know, back in 1702, you know, I had a similar situation, and what I had to do was X, Y, and Z. Pleasant conversation. So I do feel that in some respect, if this is someone returning, or you're going to get an opportunity to come back and change the conversation around it. However, I have the militare, and this is the card of getting caught, or relationship with law enforcement. Maybe some of you, you know, sometimes this guy can be like a, I look at him like a, what do you call it? Like a marshal. Y'all play chess. This is the one that the rook that kind of moves out and does things. I think that's right. So this could be either that, even though the opportunity comes back around to try to clear the air, so to speak. And again, this is the Uranus card, and the Uranus card is associated with the Tower. It is also associated with Pluto, or is it Mars? Mars. And we do have all, and that's your ruler. Mars is the ruler of Aries. So this could be that you may be given an opportunity to kind of clear the air and clear up some things, but it will not change the situation as it stands. Okay? Why? Because there's something else going on beneath the surface. Now, let me pull these cards up. I do hope that made sense to you. But again, like I say, nevertheless, you will end up gaining a stability of sorts. And the bottom line is, ultimately, you are responsible for your own stability. No one else is. I'm gonna, later on today, one of my friends sent me a lovely thing, and I need to contact her first and ask if I can share it with you on the website. Again, for those of you who do not follow my website, I ask that you please sign up, because I post things. I don't do a lot of posting, so your email won't be overwhelmed. But I post lots of things sometimes, and I really want to share what she sent me this morning. It was really wonderful to wake up and read that. So you can sign up to my website simply by email. You don't need a WordPress account. And that will notify you sometimes when I run specials or do things. That's always the first place I announce it. I don't announce it here on the channel first. I also have started the private Facebook group. So you can get over to Facebook. The name of the group is called The Lotus Travelers. Get over there and sign up. And then I don't have any content. I just created it yesterday. So just get over there. And I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to use that group yet, but get over and we'll discuss that. One card to give us whatever answer or whatever question that you had that this reading did not answer. Hopefully this will give you the answer that you're seeking, or at least point you in the right direction. A year from now. A year from now. That's what I have. I hope this message helped you, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Thank you for joining me today, and until next time, namaste.